Welcome back. In this video we are going to learn how to launch Ansys Fluent in the standalone mode and also how you can use the native GPU solver option, assuming of course you have the enterprise license, you have an appropriate CPU and the correct software. And we are going to just look at a simple way of using Ansys Fluent in the standalone mode, and in order to do that we need a mesh file. So let's just generate a mesh file for a simple internal flow here. Let's design a geometry in the design modeler pretty quickly. So let's draw on the XY plane. We will draw a simple pipe and let's extrude this for 20 meters and name this as water and make sure that this is selected as fluid. Now let's move on to mesh. So as you also remember from the meshing tutorial video, the first thing we are going to do is select the CFD here and make sure this is fluent. We are not going to change other options. We also talked about the internal and external flow meshing in detail in the mesh tutorial video, so let's just generate one here. And what we are going to do now here is the named selections. We are going to name this as inlet, this part as the wall, and this part as the outlet. So we have our inlets, we have the walls, and we have the outlets. And what we are going to do now is go to File, select Export, select Mesh, select Fluent Input File, and select Export again. Here make sure that you remember where you saved your file because we are going to need it. And we get this information here. As you can see, the mesh translation to Fluent was successful, and let's close this. So there are two ways that you can launch Ansys Fluent in the standalone mode. The first thing you can do is you can search for Fluent in your Windows search bar, or you can go to the file location of Workbench, and in that file location you will find a folder called Fluid Dynamics, and inside that Fluid Dynamics folder you will find Fluent as an individual product. After you double click that, you will be welcomed by this window, and here if you want to use the native GPU solver, as I said, you need the enterprise license. And if you have the enterprise license, you can select the native GPU solver here, and you are going to see this message that it's telling you that this is a beta feature, and this is how you use your native GPU solver for Ansys Fluent in the standalone mode. But we don't have the license for that, so we are going to use the pro version because this is a student license. So what we are going to do here is we are going to select read here, and we are going to select mesh, and we are going to select our mesh file. And after we do that, we will select start here. We talked about all the other options in the Fluent tutorial video, so we are going to skip them for now as it is reading the mesh file right now. So it is done right now. What we are going to do here is let's turn off the energy equation first, and as you can see you get a lot less options here, and let's select standard here. Again, only the options with runs modeling here. So let's select OK, and we are going to add water here. We're going to change our fluid to water, and after we do this, to be sure, we are going to delete this air from the fluids. So let's delete this, and let's go to the boundary conditions, and let's set our inlet velocity as 5 meters per second, and let's apply a temperature on the walls of 600 Kelvin for a 0.1 meters of thickness. So after we do this, let's go here and let's actually not change the residuals, because one advantage of launching Fluent in this standalone mode is it is a lot faster, as you will see now. And let's initialize, and let's run the calculation for 1,000 iterations, but it is going to solve it a lot sooner than that. So let's calculate. And as you can see, it is much faster in the standalone mode. So after it is complete, we will go to File here and we will select Write. And we will write this as case and data files. And we are going to select the file and OK. And after we get this message, we are going to close this window. We are back to Workbench. We will select Fluent here and we will select results. As I said in the Fluent tutorial as well, you can use the Fluent to read the results, but if you want to use results components to, for example, generate contours or streamlines or other things, this is how you can do it after you used Fluent in the standalone mode. So what we are going to do is select Setup, right click and select Import Fluent Case, and we are going to browse here and select this case file, and then we will go to Solution and right click and select Import Final Data and select this here and select Open and connect this to our results here, select it and edit. So let's generate a plane on the YZ axis, and on that plane let's generate a contour for temperature. And as you can see, we can see the temperature variation. We can use probe just as we did in the results tutorial video. We can also look at velocity or generate streamlines. And we will start from inlets and let's generate 50. And we can also animate the streamlines. We can see the boundary layer and how it affects the flow inside this pipe. So this is how you can launch Fluent in the standalone mode and conduct your simulations through that software, and then come back to Workbench and read your results in this results file. So once again, thank you for watching.